Alright.
You guys can actually use
Yep.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Well, hello everybody.
But-
Welcome to the BFM Breakdown. We're gonna do stuff and things. There's gonna be planes on the screen. It's gonna be a good time. And snow now. There's snow. That's definitely important.
How long does
You need
these
to know about
last? Beautiful.
that. Well, last time we
It
made a
entirely
44-second fight
depends on
last
your
35 minutes. Maybe that was a little bit much, but this fight's about 4 minutes.
45 minutes for
We
a
did-
40-second dogfight.
So,
We did learn how to piss in
we'll try not to
F16.
make it too long.
Yeah.
But the
No, it's fine. I'll sit here the
intention
whole
of this is, we're just going to show a dogfight,
No.
show some of the stuff that we're doing in it, some of the things we're thinking in it, and some of the things that don't work so great in this particular fight, and other things that do work.
Why aren't you talking?
It's not so much basics, more of a here's a POV view of what's happening and what we're thinking during those fights. So I'm going to hit the play button.
That sounds great.
Okay, so just this one is F16 versus F16. Before I go too much further, I'll also note that this is in a tournament world with a tournament setting, which is in VR chat in this tournament world. It's reduced fuel. So later on in the fight, I just want people to take note that there are decisions being made based on how much fuel is left, not because it's the right thing to do BFM wise. So much. But yeah, we'll get underway. I'll play a little bit and I'll pause it at a few points and we'll talk about it. So coming into the merge here, putting the speed, I think it's about 370-ish. And end up pulling it in there. And we've gone to kind of a head-on here. Whoop, I didn't pause up like I thought I did. Sorry. There we go. So we've gone to like a bit of a head-on, and the opponent here has chosen to avoid the nose. Now, my HUD, is down here, but I can see the top of their plane. They're heading away there. They can... What was it? I got sticks. So we've got... Please correct me on this one, you two, because I'm starting to...
Well, first off, define which one's you and which one's the
blue
bandit.
is me this week. I'm learning.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, blue is me. Bandit red, me blue. Right. So we've come up.
Okay, good.
We've come up and then we've broken away like so. Right. We're not committing to the head on there, and we're avoiding each other's nose. But it's landed us in this situation here. Where I'm up like that. And the opponent is not exactly maneuvering in relation, right? If I'm over here, his lift vector is up and out over here, away from me and my lift vector, which I believe is above, but at least maneuvering in relation to them. Not there's a whole lot in it. It is only for a split second. It's not like it's a big thing. That's another thing. Some of the stuff that here you're going to see in this fight is not massive different. There's not massive mistakes, very clear and obvious ones. There's going to be slight bits in here, pieces here where you see. I'm going to swing my arms around a lot. But yeah, butchering my words a bit. Anyway,
Go on.
continuing. So yeah, we're kind of set up in this here. I like this from my perspective, and I like this for, okay, I want to continue in the one circle, right? I can turn in. I got a little bit of room here. Their lift vector isn't on me turning into me yet, so it's a little bit of room there as well. So I'm going to continue in the one circle here. There we go again. Come back around on top. They've tightened down really well, but we've ended back up nose. They've avoided the nose again, and again I'm winning this one circle fight. They've avoided they've avoided my nose. Their lift vector is off me. This is all good. I'm happy with this. I'm like, cool. Keep doing this. I'm going to end up getting the nose on, right? At one of these points. Which, yeah, would have been smart, except the other guy in the other plane was smarter than me. So now I am very slow, and that is an F16 heading away from me. So now we've come to a fight where, instead of committing back in, our opponent here has let me commit back into the next turn in the one circle, and they've just gone, yeah, no, I'm going for the two circle. and they're ditching down. I'm up here now, like sub 200 knots, slow, which is going to mean if they're quick get down here and they had more speed, they could rip right around real quick, get onto you. In this scenario here, as we'll see it play out, it doesn't quite work that way, but definitely big up. Yeah, not the result we were hoping for. Trying to continue and commit in the one circle, but not all hope is lost in that. Whoop. Just a second. So what we're going to do is just keep the lift vector on them and try get turned around and trade in potential and hit and fly for their 6 and try and
Bless you.
Get some energy on the way back down to compete in this now rate fight we've got, which luckily we do, thankfully. So we just continue into this rate fight. It's our best chance at this point. Move these out of the way.
What's your speed right now? It's too low quality to tell.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a bit. I think at that point
you should have increased the bit rate.
Yeah, I should increase the bit rate. That's my bad.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, but
are you like extending at any point, or?
Yeah, so basically when I went down, right, because I was, our opponent went down. My choice was to tighten down over the top right. But once I started getting my nose down, and I could see my opponent wasn't getting their nose up and around onto me, right, I eased off my pull and set myself up in their turn circle. So once I know that there was, if by chance they got further around in their turn than I expected, there's a chance that would have ended up into a head-on, and that would have been my choice. Would have been my best bet to pull into the head-on. As we descended, we were watching our opponent. Their nose didn't come around. I kept on the way down. Eased off the pull on the way down, and set myself up in for that rate fight, which meant that I got to the bottom, if I remember correctly, and I really wish I could have seen it on there. My apologies for the quality of the video.
Did you?
I think I hit the deck
whilst diving
Sorry?
Down.
I actually not on this fight. No, I don't. I'm not messing around with my flaps up or down on this fight. And in this scenario, that would have been a point where you could have put your flaps up to get a little bit extra speed on the way down, because once you notice that this guy isn't going to get their nose up and around and onto you.
Could you replay that part you just talked about?
Yeah, certainly. So we'll go back. If I can learn how to play a video player, use a video player. Okay. Technology. So you can hear, like, if you've got your volume up, you can even hear that I've got a stall warning going on there in that tight. That was how tight that turn was. But then I know they're not going to get nose on, so I keep in lag, right? Keep in lag, then set up in the 2 circle, get my speed, and enter the circle at a point where I can compete in that circle. So, and I think we ended up like around 310 to 320 on the bottom here, and at the was it like 260ish, 270ish over the top we were, I think. I'll have to check the...
Yeah, that's like what you're supposed to
That was kind of roughly where it ended up at. But here, just to pause real quick, we start noticing, and again, the quality makes this very, very bad. I'm sorry, but we've been doing this like vertical, right? And it's aligned like so, right? Sorry, I'll set it up like that. Now, we've gotten to a point here where we've got a little bit of position. So our opponent, even though they're still mostly around the circle, has seen this and decided to make the decision that, okay, they need to change up the fight. There also could be some decision making going on there to try and change the fight up so it doesn't stay in the vertical 2 circle forever, because again, limited fuel. But still pretty early on in the fight, so could also more or less be, okay, they just decided to change up the fight because we've gotten a little bit of position, which you can kind of see how HUDs are getting around in some of those frames before that. I should have probably paused it on one of those. But that is a very clever thing to be doing, okay? So you see that they've decided they're going to change the fight up, so they're starting to maneuver to try and put this from the vertical into like a flat rate. And essentially what this does is if we don't react right, this is more chances and opportunities for us to make a mistake that they can capitalize on. Which is in that rate fight and we're winning, I don't really want to go anywhere else but that. And I want to keep like, okay, hang on, I've got a little bit of position now. I want to keep that, so I'm going to stick to that. So I have to react accordingly in this. And in that case, I'm just going to keep it in lag, and follow their tail, follow their 6 as they start trying to. I said the word a minute ago, but redefine the fight. Rate. That's the word. Sorry, what was that, Benjamin?
I said just as they force the flat rate, just go, okay, chase their tail and not their nose.
Yeah.
Because you could continue like going either vertical, but if they go horizontal and you stay in the vertical, it'd be a case where like you're here and they're here now, and that's not fun, because look at all this turning room to work with. Whereas you want to keep it in the 2, so as they transition into the horizontal, you're trying to go, okay, they're going horizontal, I'm going to extend out here. Because if you just pull, it becomes this situation. If you've watched Art of the Kill, if Jonah just starts pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, what happens there? It's not a good situation to be in. So he wants to keep it in lag, because if Jonah's in the vertical and CD's in the horizontal, if he stays in lag, he'll transition. Look, he's still behind him, which is lovely. That's what you want, basically. And that's like what Jonah's saying. As CD has defined this fight, Jonah has to redefine it, or has to transition correctly with CD. Follow on BFM at this point, basically.
Yes.
He's winning. You can see it there, CD's here. Jonah's like here. Like in this moment. So, Jonah wants to kind of transition and stay behind him. Because if he does it incorrectly, as I said before, and just pulls, you just end up in that situation. Which isn't very fun. Anyway, here you go.
No, thank you very much, Benjamin. But yeah, so you're going to see here, I'm going to hit the play button, and we're just going to chase that 6. Okay, I know it's hard. There's no HUD in screen half the time to see, but you can see it playing in motion. We're just trying to keep. They've gone back to the vertical, still trying to redefine. Okay, now we're near the deck. They're going horizontal again. And I'm just trying to keep in lag, keep my position, and then we get settled into this rate fight on the deck. And it comes to a point here where I do start playing with offset a little bit. But I also, in doing that, while it starts working, I have done it a little bit in a silly way that I didn't think about, which was, you'll see soon, there's this bit of terrain that's in the way, right? So there's and we're kind of on the edge of it, doing this 2-circle. And each time I cut in, have a look at how much closer and how much further I push my circle over this terrain. Which now, if I can't now, CD's circle is staying the same, right? And while I'm getting the position, whatnot, I think here I'm about, I know it's very hard to see, I remember this from when I edited it, I was at 280 knots, right? So I'm now slow. I'm now slow, starting at the bottom of the rate band kind of area of the F-16. This is not.
They're starting to leave the rate band.
Yeah, starting to. Yeah.
Starts widening.
Exactly. Yeah. So while I've gotten the position here, CD's circle stayed over that lower terrain, and he hasn't really, the terrain has not played nearly as much of a factor for him. So he's just continuing to rate. Now I'll play it again. I'll keep playing it, and you're gonna notice here, radio keeping in the rate. I'm getting further over these mountains, having to go up higher. I think here I'm at like 260, 250. By the time I get down to here, where we pause, I'm now at 270. Now, not a whole lot of gain has been had here, but I'm 10 knots slower. And it's purely because while I'm trying to do this offset, I'm also trying to deal with this terrain. So in hindsight, paying a bit more attention to where I would have started offsetting would have made this maybe a little bit more favorable for me. I would have been able to have less terrain in my way and be a little bit more aggressive and probably get around on this rate, this offset. But I will play it. We start seeing some stuff that starts becoming mistakes that normally wouldn't happen, but for the sake of low fuel in the tournament setting, you're going to start seeing some funny business happen. Not too funny, just things like if you start winning the rate, you would stay in the rate, but you'll see. So, keeping the rate fight here. I decide to go for a little bit extra altitude here over the top instead of dipping down. Oh, I know I dipped down here. I think it's the next one, sorry. The CDs come up now with us a bit.
I don't like that mountain.
And this one I decide to stay up high a little bit as I come over the top here. And thankfully, our opponent here comes up with us. Still not a good thing though, because they seem to be a little bit faster, and I'm stuck at like 250-ish here, which is way out of the rate band. Like I've got the position, but I do not have the performance to keep this up. If this was to stay in a sustained 2 circle by circle, you would very quickly be twisting your neck around and breaking your neck looking behind you, because that jet that's in front of me right now, or at least above my canopy over here, is going to be over here in just a matter of turns. So essentially, we stay at this altitude in the 2. I'm cooked. I would have to start doing low yo-yos or whatever I needed to try and get myself into a better position here. However, for this, I believe I'm not like, this is not something that I've discussed with CD to be like, is this what you did? This fight happened months and months and months ago. I don't think we can remember what we did really towards the end of this here, but. So we continue here. I look back down, check my speed. I'm still trying to climb a little bit. I look back and I'm just, this is the best sight that I could have seen in this scenario. While I am slow, the opponent's now gone down. They've dropped their. Sorry, go ahead, Benjamin.
I haven't watched this fight before, but I'm like, ooh, like
Yeah.
they're low, I'm high, but I'm slow. There's so much turning room to work with.
And
that's the most important thing. You've got the altitude to work with, so you can pull in, dive down. If they pull in with you, I imagine you're going to end up in like a nice 1 circle here, a roller. So, yeah, I haven't watched this before, but yes, that's my assumption.
Yep. No, that's perfect assumption, and Benjamin's called it. That's exactly what's going to happen here. So CD's gone down and extended away, grabbed some energy, and really pulled in. While I'm up top and up high, I got all that potential. I pull in, and we end up getting probably not quite a neutral head-on pass, but definitely way more neutral than we have been for the last few turns. And we'll see how that plays out. So pulling. CD's pulling too. We're keeping. Doesn't quite end up in the 1 circle straight away. Sorry, Benjamin. Now I'll just notice low fuel.
It's fine.
Okay, but we're a lot more neutral here. Now,
volume boost.
Yeah, there's going to be a volume boost coming, just so you can hear as me modulating the engine and whatnot, because we start doing really. Again, this is not the fuel management side of things. Definitely not BFM, but some people might find it handy if they want to compete in the future and muck around with their fuel. This is not a how-to, just what I was doing. That's all you needed. That's all. But yeah, no. Anyway, to redefine the fight again, now I've got this nice image here. Very hard to tell because we got the blurriest video in the world this week. Again, very sorry. But that is an F-16, and that is that little black dot there is the tail of the F-16. Now, if the F-16 was
You could put
maneuvering
one
on
of the
us,
planes over that plane.
sorry, we
You
put
could
the
put one of
plane over
those
there.
planes
Yeah, you
over
got a
that
point. You
plane.
got a point. You got a point, right? But I'm not seeing this anymore. I'm seeing that, right? I'm down over here.
Yeah. Deal.
I'm down over here, and I'm seeing that now. I think it's more like this actually. Maybe less. That's kind of the image we're seeing though, right? So if I can see the tail, that lift vector is not on me anymore. And my HUD's down here somewhere, but
Yeah.
it's still above me. He's still above me.
Yeah,
What do I
that is
want to do in this
probably the
situation?
best one, I think.
We talked about it last week.
You're speaking Chinese.
For some of the people that were here last week.
Go on.
Cut into his circle.
Go on.
Practically, yeah.
It's
He's not maneuvering on me. I'm turning. I'm going to turn in on that as hard as I can.
Yeah. Not bad.
And it's going to see this go into the. I've got to remember though, I'm still a little bit slow, so you're going to see it ends up in maybe a little bit more of a neutral one circle fight for a bit here because CD has energy to burn. But yeah, that's essentially it. I'm just like, okay, yeah, cool. Now's the time to go to one. And the decision to go to one here is also probably the best for CD because he might get a fast. He might be able to get a neutral pass. Then that could be turned into on the next circle. He could be offensive, right? And also greatly reduce the time to kill, especially in such a situation where we are both on very low fuel.
I also feel like
Mhm.
if the fight wasn't redefined, you're just going to end up, because. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You started here and here, and you
Yep.
pulled in, and you
Yep.
went into the one, but there's so much offset between you. Like the one circle, you kept meeting nose to nose essentially.
Yep.
So if like CD or you didn't change the plane of motion, I completely messed it up.
Yeah.
You would have
Just ended up in head on.
both just ended up in a head on basically, where
Yep.
like you're going this way, CD's
Yep.
going this way. So if CD didn't like redefine the fight by like changing his like direction with you or into you as you like came around here,
Yep.
you would have just ended up in another head on. Probably just which head ons aren't fun. 50-50s aren't fun.
No. In saying that, if you're the guy on
Especially as you're
the
running out of
if you've got
fuel.
the short end of the stick positionally and not the energy to get around, maybe a 50-50 is what you want. So you got to remember that too. Just because it's a 50-50, the other guy might have been at a his chances before might have been 10-90, 20-80 or something like that. He might prefer the 50-50. So you got to people will pull on for a head on for that one in that scenario. And if they don't get the head-on shots, you get at least a neutral pass that they can work with.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, Benjamin. Didn't mean to. If I spoke over you, then.
No, it's fine. I agree
But, yeah.
completely. If you're on a case where the 50-50 is the best option for you, go for it.
Yeah.
50% is better than 0%.
Yep.
So.
Yep. That's why you
Go
see
for
like
it.
a lot of people are like, oh, this person's going for they're doing head-ons. They're only doing head-ons. It's like, no, well, you're probably just out BFMing them to a point where they're like, okay, this is my last chance now. I got to do that. It happens more often than you think sometimes. But anyway, I will smack
Let
the
it
button.
ride.
Let it ride. Yep.
There you go.
Because yeah, again, if worst case scenario, they're gonna, if neither of you hit your shots, it's a chance to redefine the fight into something that's more favorable.
Or in a tournament, you get a rematch.
Yeah, yeah. If you both kill each other, like yeah, you get a rematch or you Fox 4.
Which I'm not
Alright.
complaining. If I was losing, can I get a rematch?
Yeah. Granted, priority one is kill the other guy and survive yourself.
Yes. I agree.
Yep. Anyway, this is going to get kind of a little bit funny and goofy with this one circle with trying to manage fuel. So the audio is going to be a little bit louder. You can kind of hear times where I'm like off the throttle when I'm trying to tighten down, or certain scenarios there where I'm up high and on the way down, where I might have been off throttle getting a tight turn, and then I get back on the throttle on the way down to get all my energy back real quick and whatnot. But I'll just play it and you can kind of see how it goes. So pull in here, and maybe could have committed a little bit more to that, but there is a stall horn going on there, so maybe it was more or less because of my energy. But now I'm stalling, but I'm still trying to keep that nose on. Yes, for some. Yes,
Rocking back and forth in the seat of the plane. You're like, oh,
come on. Yeah, no, this is like, yeah. But here, luckily, okay, I get down, put fuel back in, and my opponents had to ditch out to the airbase there. Realistically, that fight was more or less down to fuel. And also, I left this in here. If you're in tournament setting, in the VR chat tournaments, sorry, it's now gone black, but if it is down to fuel, if you are worried about the fuel, land the plane. Just land the plane. It makes it so much. Just you got to. Their rule sets generally for like black aces or for houses that you need to survive your last maneuver. Land the plane. Make sure there's no like shadow of a doubt that you won. I've always done that and tried to make sure that other people know when to do that. If the people running the tournament use the controls to blow up your plane, which is a thing, that's probably because they're satisfied and happy and you've got the win then. Then that point, okay, that's fine. If they blow you up while you're trying to land, whatever. Yep, go ahead.
Can you lose if you don't survive your maneuver? Like, will they say it's a draw or something? Okay.
Sorry, they won't make it loss. CD's gone, but won't make it a loss. Sorry, they'll make it a draw. If the other dude's dead and then you don't survive your final maneuver, it's a draw. You have to do a rematch.
I've literally done it before, where like I've shot and killed someone, and I go, "Yay!" Like nosedives playing into ground.
Yep.
Ben, you have to do a rematch. What?
No. Yeah. I've seen people as like, yeah, I won. They dive out, and then whoever's the decision on the day,
or like,
wasn't on point.
Obviously, in these.
Yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, in these planes, you can shoot the engine out. And I've seen people land with their engine out, and the other guy goes, "That's a great plane, by the way." The other guy goes, "Oh, they're dead. Their engine's out," and they crash into the ground. But this guy is still on the ground.
Still technically
even though their
alive.
engine isn't working, they're still technically alive. So then they win because you were just like, "Oh." So confirm your kill.
Yeah, confirm your kill. Survive your maneuver, land. So this might have been a little bit more of a tournament setting breakdown than it was a BFM breakdown, but there's a little bit of BFM stuff in there. I know. Is there any questions anyone has?
I think you should load the video up again. By the way,
load the video up again.
Yeah, and then they can go through it. Oh, thank you. Who threw this?
Can it be replayed just from start to finish to review everything?
Yeah, I'll let it go from start to finish. And I'll next time I'll do a better job at bitrate so we can actually visually see speeds and stuff. That was
my bad.
I did not
mean to leave.
Fine, but
you're back.
Yes. Hello, I am back.
I've missed him. I'm Ben. Oh no. So the main issue with like VR chat videos is bitrate. And if your bit rate's too high, the video just comes off really blurry. So you want to have like a 2. What's the bit rate you usually do, CD? What's like the
typically it's like 4 to 12,000 is good, but even then, like I've tried the lower ones, and sometimes there can be bit rate degradation, like before you even go to render it. So usually, like if you use DaVinci. Usually do just highest quality for a 1080p video at quality bitrate, and that's good enough for this stuff.
The other issue is when you're flying, you're moving around a lot, and the terrain's changing a lot, which is also like screws over bitrate. A nice feeling.
Yeah, these planes are very different from BFM. So.
Yes, no, they very much are. There's some stuff that's a little bit
BFM's the
closer to
same.
BFM, but these ones here are pretty, yeah.
Pretty extreme. You've got a lot
Yeah.
of horsepower. You don't really
Yeah.
have to worry all that much about. You can focus more on the BFM than the energy management aspect, really.
Yes.
Like energy management is still very important. Like I said before, like I like to actuate my flaps and stuff to gain like extra bits of speed, especially when diving and stuff. And that works well for me. I think this is a nice example of just like you were doing the offset correctly, but you were just too aggressive almost.
Too aggressive, and
like yeah.
No,
because like
and
here, this
not
is a pretty nice wind picture you've got here.
Yeah.
Also the terrain as well.
The terrain, yeah, that
every
was
time you do a high. Every
fucking
higher it reduces your rate of closure, obviously.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm convoy.
And then CD, I believe, because obviously you're getting slower and slower with every offset that you come in. CD is starting to outrun your nose.
Yep.
And then the train gets in the way, so you have to do a high yo-yo, reduces rate of closure again. CD outruns your nose even more. He's even further away from you. So, and then you're even further over this mountain. I think there was a point where you didn't have to offset anymore. Like I think, like CD's circle didn't move at all, and there was a point where you had a nice picture of it here. If you just kept in that same circle and just rated around, I think you would have got nose on first. You had generated enough offset to the point that you didn't need to.
Yeah.
You continued moving your circle over that mountain.
Yeah.
But it happens. I imagine your thought process is when CD started to outrun your nose a little bit, you were like, oh no, I need to offset more to adjust for him outrunning my nose.
Probably. It was a little while ago, though.
No, it seems fine. That's just my assumption from watching.
Yeah. Yeah. This part of the fight's just goofy.
Yeah, I think so. These nice low speed fights.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey!
Oh, shoot.
That is in fact what happened.
Yes.